What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Unstructure. I'm your host, H. This is my co-host, E.
What up? What
And
up?
today we're talking about Power Book 2 Ghost Season 2, Episode
Episode one.
1. That's a long one to say, isn't it?
Sure enough, that's really a long one. Hey, to everybody out there watching us for the first time, thank you. Make sure you click the like and subscribe button. H, let's get right into it.
Let's go. All right, and this show hasn't disappointed just yet. And we actually enjoy the Power series from the original series, Power Book Canaan, and this
Yeah,
show. We waited for a little while for the show to come back, and yeah,
there's been a
it's
lot
good.
of
It's exciting
series
for
that
sure.
have been spun off from the original series, and they're all very entertaining. This is just another one.
Yeah.
Canaan, the Book of Canaan, and all the other series, and we have Tommy coming up in
Well,
February.
Tommy, this is one supposed to be one about Tate, and we know Tate's gonna be comical. It's
Oh,
gonna be a
that's gonna be a
comedy.
good one. That's
That's
gonna
gonna be
be a good one.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Tate makes an appearance in this episode as well. So we're gonna go ahead and discuss: is Tariq being haunted by his previous actions? So we see that how the episode starts. Is Monet losing her step? We're gonna take a look at different love triangles or love situation ships in the show for the different
Yeah.
characters, and where is the season going?
Yeah. Yeah, where is the season going? We're going to say that for last. Let's just jump into it because Tariq has been reacting to different events throughout this entire series, season one and season two. So is he haunted by his actions?
I think so. So we see the episode starts. He wakes up from a nightmare, from reliving the things that he's done, and by that I mean taking care of Professor Jabari. We know that at the end of previous season, that's what he did.
Hmm.
Now he's gonna have another body in his conscience. This is a guy that's still dealing with the murder, the death of his dad,
Yeah.
and the other things he had to do in the show.
Yeah, and because of that, he's always had to do one cover up and then another cover up and another cover up, and it's compounding. Will his time eventually run out? We see that there's a slip up later on in the episode, which we won't get to, but this isn't something that he would normally do because he has been seasoned throughout the years by his mother, but he has too much to care for, and he's starting to slip up.
Now we see that everything's piling up to him. So we know he has the murders that he's dealing with. He's trying to sig and sag through all of that.
Yeah.
We also know that we now see that his grandma is kind of like falling behind and not taking care of his sister very well.
Which that's another thing that he
Yeah,
has to take care of is his sister.
this drives him to put more effort into trying to locate where Tasha went into witness protection because she's like, well, you need to take
You need to
somebody
take care of
need
our
help.
daughter
Yeah,
because grandma isn't able to take care of her. So he's got,
his
uh,
drug business.
yeah, he's got the an increased load, so more product to move. He has the murders. He has to find Tasha. He has to take care of school.
He's lying to Monet. He has this pseudo partnership with Kane, right?
Yeah.
So he's
So
like
that's
all of
causing.
yeah.
That's gonna. If Monet finds
Oh,
out about that, that's gonna be a major conflict.
he made a deal with Davis McLean because he wants to find out where Tasha is, and now he has to find the money for that as well.
Yeah.
So he has a lot on his plate this season. And how is he gonna juggle? On top of that, he has a school, and we all know how tough school can be.
Seriously. So we're going to see throughout this season how he handles it and what's going to drop first, really, because this is a recipe for disaster, and we don't know what's going to fall apart and how that's going to unravel everything else.
I gotta give it to him. He keeps his cool throughout the whole show.
Yeah.
He goes into the party with his friend, right? The family party, and we see his situation with Sweeney, right?
Yeah, I love that situation with Sweeney because Sweeney looks down on him immediately, not knowing who he is or where he came from. He looks down on him,
He's a
thinks,
senator, by the way.
yeah, a senator. He's a senator. Yeah, he thinks that the college had brought him in as like a ethnic
Program, yeah, like
yeah, part of the ethnic program and all this other stuff. And Tariq had to put him on notice, like, hey, my dad had money. Listen, my dad was about to be governor, so he was about to run you and everything that
yeah,
you were
he's like, yeah,
doing.
I know your
Yeah.
dad, and yeah, I sad that the accusations is going through. So he's trying to bring it back to Tariq, and Tariq just smacks it right back to him.
He talks about, oh yeah, I hope that drugs in the community can be really bad. And it's like, no, opioids are worse, and you guys are funding it. So he threw it right back in his face. So kudos to that. Kudos to the writers. I knew that was big for them to put that out there.
Let
So
me ask you:
yeah,
do you think that little exchange has something to do with Sweeney missing that shot right next to Tariq's head that freaked him out?
Yeah, I think later on in the episode there was hunting, and as Tariq gets out to run to catch the kill, Sweeney takes a shot. Which everybody that's gone hunting or even just proper gun etiquette, you don't shoot when somebody's in front of the gun. That's not cool. I think that was on purpose. That was a warning shot.
Now he was rattled by that, but you know who else is rattled in this show that we saw in this episode? It's a
Monet,
segue for Monet. Correct. We're
yes,
not talking about Monet right
yeah,
now.
Monet is really really rattled for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, like she's very different. This different. Mary J. Blige is doing a very good job of
Love
portraying
it.
the character slightly different from the
Been a
previous
fan of
season.
Mary from the
Because
beginning.
she went first season, she's very strong. Now she's a little rattled. She's rethinking or second guessing herself.
With
Because
with her son getting shot and the drug business sort of having some difficulties, she's rethinking her what she wants to do in the game. You know, and she's thinking about her family. No longer is growing a business a priority as it used to be. Is more of surviving and finding a different way out. And so I don't know how that's going to lead, but she's putting pressure on Zeke, and Zeke is going to be, as I say, their new
Sig's
product.
gonna fold
Yeah,
because their exit strategy is that Sig makes it in the NBA, right?
yeah,
In playing ball, and then they're gonna just be their management team, and that's a very very weak plan. Now we also see this a little bit of a second guessing from the kids because we see her son, the one that got shot. I forgot his name. His name escapes me right now.
yeah.
He says, she's asking Tariq if he's lying. And the only thing he can say at that table is no.
No,
Like
otherwise you're getting
whether
shot.
he's lying or not,
Do
he
you want to
has to
finish
say
dinner?
no. So we now know that they are slightly second guessing her. They don't trust her leadership as much. In my opinion, I think that's what's happening. Even when she looked at Kane when he came to the door, she seemed weak.
Yeah, they're starting to think for themselves, which they should. And you see that she stifled their growth from season one, where she didn't want her son to go to college, even though he has the aptitude to do so,
Yep.
and he has a passion for drawing and a whole bunch of other things. But she sent him down a different path, which didn't fit for him, and that's starting to rip apart at the seams. Like it's not necessarily going to work, but we'll see how that plays out.
And let's keep it real. Parents, parents from our parents like that. Come on,
Yeah.
you're going to school no
Yeah,
matter what
exactly.
you're doing. You could be
Exactly. It's like, no, I
you
don't
could be
care what else
the
you do. It doesn't matter.
you're
You're
going
going
to
to
school.
school. So yeah,
Come on.
seriously. So for her to say you're not going to school, that's different. But hey, it's all good. She's trying, and like we said, she's trying to get out the game, but Kane is pushing her deeper in the game.
Yeah.
Kane is hooking up with a new supplier,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
also they're eliminating a lot of the competition, and so he's causing ripples throughout the streets, right? While Monet is trying to get out the game, there's things that are going to pull her back, and you see that
Yeah.
intersection between the characters towards the end, where Kane shows up at the doorstep and he wants to go inside, but she won't let him inside because she put her foot down, and she's trying to break that relationship and also separate paths. So she did it successfully this episode, but I think there's going to be something big that's going to bring her back in, pull her back into the game.
She wavered and she seems weak and she's like overprotective of the kids now. And
Hmm.
we see that with Diana. We have a scene where Tariq is in the kitchen. He's
Yeah,
macking
she
on
would have never did
Diana,
that
and she's sitting there
before.
holding hands like, "Diana, leave the boy alone. Go do something else, right?"
Yeah, she would have never did that before. But now, like you say, there's these microaggressions or little things that these kids do to try to go separate and go their own path. But
And
one of
that
them,
brings
like you
us, yeah.
said, is a love triangle. So let's just jump into that.
Yeah, so that essentially brings us to Tariq trying to talk to Diana and Lauren at the same time. I mean, he's definitely somewhat with Lauren in a way, right?
Yeah.
And then we see him at Monet's house trying to mac on Diana as well.
Yeah, and what that does is, it is what it is. They're all young and everything, but it, these two girls in particular are on two separate paths. They live two separate lives. So Tariq sort of has to choose which life he wants to live, because that's going to it cause problems down the line. If he wants to follow the path to school and be a student, Lauren's going to be on him, and when she sees him slip, she's going to get in the way, and something's going to happen to her, right? But if he's with Diana, he's already in the streets, and his school is going to suffer, and he may not get his inheritance. So that's a big deal.
Check it out, the representation of these two characters, right? So if he chooses if he chooses Lauren,
Hmm.
he's a pact of goodness. He's leaving that life behind because he could not be what he is now and be with Lauren.
Nah,
At least that's what's presented to us in the show, right?
yeah,
So by going choosing Diana, he's choosing the good side of him, living a different life than his dad, or the life that his dad wanted him to live, right? But if he chooses Diana, he can completely be himself
yeah,
because she knows who he is and she
exactly.
likes him and loves him the way he
They
is.
can form a
So
different type of bond.
can he choose Diana and be good with that life, and keep dealing with those same situations, or just choose Lauren? I go a different way.
Yeah, and also with their weird interactions, especially with Tariq and Lauren, will she eventually turn on him as well? Because she's only going to take rejection so many times. Uh,
Lauren reminds me of Angela, right?
yeah,
Like she's like, but you
yeah,
know what? It's a reverse Angela. No way. I'm gonna explain. So Angela for James was that the love, that the one that got away, right?
yeah,
And he did everything to be with her,
uh huh,
and and she was down for him. But in a way, Lauren, she kind of represents that goodness, right? But Diana seems to be the one that's more down to hold things down for Tariq, in my opinion.
yeah. There's no question about that. She's definitely more down, but we'll see what happens. I don't think Lauren is going to get that deep into the street stuff and everything. That's not her path. That's not the way that she was brought up, and she doesn't see any sense in doing that for sure. There's a few more love triangles that we see going on, and one is with Carrie, Zeke, and possibly
The cop.
the cop, and actually,
Balling.
and also it was with Jabari as well. So there's there's a lot of things going on with that and how that unravels. Her bond with Zeke is really really tight, but the cop also knows about that, right?
And I'll be honest with you, that
Yeah,
whole, you know how I feel about that whole situation, that whole story arc, uh, makes very little sense to me because she like knows the cop and she dated him and wanted to date him.
yeah.
He takes her to the morgue to see like, come on, man,
First date, we're
really?
going to the morgue.
Yeah, like let me
Yeah,
take you to the morgue. Like
date's
you're gonna
over, yo.
question that? That's kind of
Yo, it's
like
good.
she's trying to trap him.
Yeah,
And then we have the whole thing with Zeke. Uh, like she's risking her career over Zeke, and there's a lot of like things that are not gelling for me in
yeah,
that particular story arc, but they're pushing it. I think it worked better last season with Jabari in the middle because
yeah,
Jabari was also hooking up with his students. We have her doing the same thing,
yeah,
but now that she's left that behind, now we're dealing with the cop. This whole thing with the cop came out of nowhere. They now have a relationship, and he's jealous of Jabari. That's that. He's
yeah.
asking, "Well, was it a little thing more than just friends?" Come on, man, really?
Seriously. Yeah, I think that thing is going to unravel. If Zeke, especially if Zeke tries to go to the league, they're going to separate. Who knows what happens? And we have a few predictions where the season is actually going. So, H, what's your prediction?
Yeah, certainly. So, where do we think this season is going? Like we see that Tariq has a lot on his plate.
Hmm.
We know we talked about the murders. We talked about him trying to find Tasha. Where's Tasha? Trying to get his little sister with Tasha or in a safe place, right?
Yeah,
He's juggling school, his side business with drugs. He's dealing Monet, the different situations he's getting himself into, and he also made a deal with Davis McLean and by connection with Sax.
yeah.
Like, so
Which
where's this gonna go, right?
Yeah, so they're definitely looking to exploit Tariq. Talking about Saxon Davis, they're looking to exploit Tariq, and also we saw at the end that uh, uh, Davis McLean has a plan to use Sax to get his boy out of jail. Shout out to Redman, Jersey all day.
Yeah, that was a cool cameo. I kind of missed it at the beginning because he
Yeah,
looked so different.
yeah,
It took me a while. Thank you for pointing that out for me.
yeah.
I
Shout
totally
out
missed
to
that. That was
Redman.
pretty cool to see him. Hopefully, he plays a bigger role. I feel he is because they showed him on screen.
Yo, that would be
He's
great.
inside. He might be a connect with the Tejadas, or maybe he might try to find some information out.
Yo,
So that's gonna develop very nicely in the show. We also see that. Yo, where do you think Monet is gonna fall throughout the season? Is she gonna be eliminated with is the character of Mary J. Blige be eliminated from the show or be essentially reduced since we see this weakness in her armor.
Yo, Mary is going to come out victorious. That's my girl. She ain't going to fold.
She's
Telling you.
gonna double down. I think she's gonna by the end of this season, she'll double down. We
Yeah.
we know there's a new big bad that's working with Kane, right?
Yeah.
The humble has planes and nice cars.
Yo, this is Super Connect right here. So he is going to bring problems because Kane is going to, even though he says that he has nothing to show, Kane is definitely going to have to live up to the expectations because this guy,
It's the new Milan.
yeah,
It's
obviously,
the new Milan.
yeah, exactly. So he doesn't take any BS for sure. And we see at the end of the episode, Tariq messes up, and this is part of what we were talking about the compounding consequences that Tariq has. Tariq is looking for his mother, and he gets a phone call from unregistered number or a block number.
No number. He
Yeah.
picks up. Yeah. So we see at the end of the season, he's been throughout the whole show, right? He's
Episode.
been
Go ahead.
looking. Sorry, my apologies. So throughout the whole episode, he's been looking to putting the battery on his phone, seeing if Tasha has communicated with him.
Yeah.
And when he sees the phone ring at that particular moment, which very it's a coincidence in the show sometimes.
Yeah, how does that happen, really?
And he decides to pick up for like a second, and as soon as he picked up, they ping into the university, right?
Yeah.
So that's gonna bring all the cops there. So that's really gonna put a lot of pressure on
Yo,
Tariq.
that's a big deal because before that, the cops really had nothing, and they had to go off of the evidence that was there, which was the dead cop's gun. You know, he disappeared, and his gun shows up, and so what's going on with him? But now that Tariq picked up, obviously they're going to have to point, and he already said it. They're going to interview or investigate all of Stansfield, and which means that Tariq is definitely going to be on the list as one of his students that gets interviewed or interrogated. And they already know that him and Jabari had some history. This is going to be extra heat that he doesn't need, on top of the fact that he has to move some weight. So this season is going to heat up real quick.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction, and this is
Go
what
ahead.
I'm thinking. In order for Tariq to deal with all of this, he's missing one thing that is key in the title of this show.
What's that?
And that is power. He's gonna need his own organization where he can leverage things,
Yeah.
like his dad could in James. He doesn't know leverage
for
right
real.
now. He's literally
It's
the
good to have
errand
a
boy
partner.
for many different people.
Yeah.
So he needs to like grow his organization, have some soldiers of his own that he can leverage and kind of deal with his different fires that he has to put out.
Hey, rule number one in business: delegate. He's got to get some street soldiers for real, and they're going to have to move a lot of things because he has to cover up a few murders or whatever. So we'll see how that goes. Listen, we're going to be with you every step of the way. We love Power. We're happy that the new season's out. So if you like Power, stick with us. Give us your comments, reviews. Let us know in the comments how you think this season's going to go. Until the next episode, I'm E, and this is H.
And we're in structure.
That's right.